Hey anime fans, this is Animaniatrix. I'm Alpha Trail, and I'm here with
Oasis Jim.
yeah, hey fans. No, it's been a little while, so it's been quite a busy summer. We haven't really been watching anime as frequently, so we haven't been getting through animes in order to post as often. But we are still definitely watching anime every day, so we're definitely still we still will be posting. We just slowed down a bit due to the busy summer. Also, we just recently bought a Nintendo Switch, so we've been playing a lot of that lately. Me and Oasis.
A lot of that lately.
We got the Pokemon. What is it? Sword, Pokemon Sword, and
Animal Crossing,
and Pikmin. So, just to start, so we've been getting into that. So, kind of like tug of war between playing the Switch lately and watching anime. Also, we just another update. We've started a Facebook page, Animaniatrix Facebook page. So if anybody has a Facebook and want to add us, the link is on our channel. It'll link you right to our page. We also started a group on a page. Just follow the link, add us. You know, we can keep some of the conversation going over there. On the Switch, there's a feature where we could actually post a lot of what we're doing. I think that was a cool feature. So like some of the stuff we're doing on like the Pokemon Sword and stuff, you take the pictures and you could transfer them over to Facebook.
That was pretty cool.
I was actually considering making a Twitter account for it, but you know, baby steps. So but yeah, so just been a little bit busier with other things, so we're down to maybe like a couple episodes a day, so at this point with anime. But definitely still watching it. But today we just finished I forget how to say it. Hinamatsuri.
Hinamatsuri.
Hinamatsuri. Shout out to R Nonster from My Anime List. User R Nonster for recommending this anime. You know, he was a fellow Overlord fan like myself. He recommended that I check this out, and I am not disappointed at all.
I'm glad he did. I'm not disappointed either.
So, anybody want to check out R Nonster's page over on My Anime List, another fellow Overlord fan. So, Oasis, you know how we do it. What did you think of Hinamatsuri?
I thought it was going to be about a mystery girl trying to fit in with society. Reminds me of the anime we watched, Dead or Alive, when the girls were trying to fit into normal life.
I don't remember any anime called Dead or Alive.
Oh, sorry, wrong thing. I meant Date Alive.
Oh, Date Alive. Okay.
Oh,
okay. Yeah, I guess I can see how you got that. You know, girls coming from a different realm or different somewhere coming into the planet.
Yeah, and
or Earth.
They'll move into somewhere new and just trying to fit in with that group of people.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to fit in that area.
When he recommended it, I didn't know what to expect, because you know, I just basically called for you know, some fellow Overlord fans, and he was just like, yeah, check this out. So I'm alright. Yeah, I'm thinking it's going to be along that line of Overlord. So going into it, I didn't know really what to expect, but maybe something akin to that. But definitely nowhere close. I think this is like a comedy type anime. It was reminding me of Mob. It's probably the only thing I have to compare it to is Mob Psycho.
I got some Mob Psycho vibes too.
Especially Hina's personality.
I also got One Punch Man.
One Punch.
One
One Punch without the action. But I can say this is probably like I think this is categorized as a comedy anime. This is probably one of the funniest. I think this is probably the funniest. One of the funniest, if not the funniest, comedy anime that I've ever seen. I've never laughed so many times at an anime. Well, in an anime. Don't get me wrong, some animes have their jokes here and there, but this one was pretty consistent. Or maybe that's just my style of comedy, but this show was hilarious.
I think it's funny, but there's other ones that's more funny.
You think so?
Yeah. Shout out to Shin-chan.
Shin-chan? Okay.
Shout out to Shin-chan. But yeah, anyway, there was funny parts in that anime.
What, Shin-chan?
No, in this one.
In this one?
Yeah, there was funny parts in it. So I won't knock it.
Well, better if it's supposed to be comedy genre, right? But yeah, I was getting Mob Psycho out of it, and Tina herself reminded me of Mob, especially like during like the beginning of it. I was like, okay, this is basically what we're going to get. We're going to get a female Mob. Turns out, for me, her personality is like way more annoying. By like the second half of the series, I'm like, or second half of the season. I don't know if they're going to do a season 2, but by the second half of it, I'm like completely annoyed with this girl. Don't get me wrong, her personality is part of her charm, but like it just started getting like, she just started getting irritating to me. But it's still like in a comedic way. But that's like her appeal too. So it's like I'm kind of torn. But for the most part, I was like, yeah, this girl's getting on my nerves. But it's funny because like this show, it wasn't like, when I say it's funny, it's like it wasn't like any other kind of animes where you get like kind of like goofy shit happening, like nosebleeds, or like it was like a different style of comedy. It's kind of hard for me to put my finger on it, but like just certain concepts that they played with, and just like how they had certain side stories, and they just showing like just little funny stuff. It kind of also reminded me of inspired me to watch that latest anime that came out. I forget what it's called.
A husband?
Yeah, Household Husband. It was kind of like that. So, Household Husband is actually funny too.
Yeah, that one is funny.
So, but like, if you like Household Husband, you'll probably like this too. But like I said, I definitely wasn't expecting this. When it first came on, I'm like, okay, I'm getting Elfen Lied vibes. You know what I'm saying? Like, psychic girl come out of a different realm. Okay, you know what I'm saying?
That's a good comparison.
She almost like she had a certain attitude.
Didn't even think of that.
Then it turned to something completely different. I can't say I was kind of disappointed at the fact that, if anything, I was disappointed at the fact that I felt like this was supposed to be action and like super powered, but we didn't get like any of that. It was like more so heavy on the comedy, which was enjoyable. I can say that. It was that part was enjoyable. I think if I went into it with the mentality that it was just like just a comedy anime, then my expectation would have been different. But seeing that like it started off with the fact that she had superpowers, I'm like, all right. And then the way it like the pace that it was going and like the way the story was being told at the beginning, it was like Elfen Lied. I was like, okay, we getting an Elfen Lied or like a mob, like Elfen Lied meets Mob Psycho type anime. Nope. That's not what we got. I mean, it had little things here and there in the show.
Just a little bit.
With, like, other psychics coming after her and stuff. But for the most part, it was just, like, a comedy on some, like a Gintama type anime. But
it would have been nice to see more of her powers, I think. Just this anime is about a girl with psychic powers who decides to live with a rich guy named Nita and try to have what she calls a normal life.
Nita's like a mob. He's in a mafia or something. I don't know what they call it over there. They kept saying Yakuza or something. So
that's the name of the gang.
I don't know if that was the name of the gang or just a way to say mafia in Japanese. But yeah, he's like a mob mafia goon or something.
Then decided to retire or quit.
He didn't even quit. What are you talking about? He was working with the mob the entire show. Mm-hmm. If anything, he got promoted in one of the episodes because the one guy died, remember? And then he got promoted. That's why they wanted to do that one. In that one episode, they wanted to do a documentary on his life.
Okay.
And then he had Hina working with him to take down the other gang, which I kind of wanted to see more of that. Also, when the part where she's like using her powers to do construction, I was like, I wanted to see more of this too. I thought she was basically about to take over Japan or something, like how, because I'm saying, like, the guy Arnoster who recommended this, another fellow Overlord fan. Overlord is an anime basically about conquest. So I'm thinking, like, this is gonna be kind of like a conquest anime. I'm thinking Hina's about to conquer Japan, but nah, she's just a goofy kid.
Okay. Yeah, I forgot about his he was doing the mob thing because he was also seemed to be a father figure. He was trying to be a father for Hina.
Mm-hmm.
So I forgot that he was also part of a mob.
And he's like loaded.
And he rich.
He's like, he's loaded. And so, like, he's like the whole show, he's like spoiling Hina.
Yeah. I didn't think he was gonna let her live with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The way that this played out and unfolded didn't. A lot of it that was not something that I could put my finger on. But it was like a lot of it was random, and I kind of liked it. It was funny, like it kept it interesting.
Yeah. I thought when he put her out, he was not gonna have her come back. After she done broke a few vases, I thought it was a wrap. Get out, don't come back. And then it seemed like he missed her after he kicked her out. It seemed like he started missing her.
I wasn't surprised at that.
He was thinking about her, thinking of the good times they had.
I wasn't surprised
memories.
at that. I think I was just more so, like, the type of show that this was going to be, I was shocked at that. Especially, you know what I'm saying, like, you got superpower psychics. Once, you know what I'm saying, and then she agrees not to use her power. That was like, okay. Like, what was the kind of like I feel like the fact that there were psychics wasn't necessary. Like, if they did this show without her being a psychic, I don't think it would change the show much at all.
Maybe not.
It would be like the same show. So it's like that element is.
They didn't show a lot of psychic power.
Not only did they not show much of her being a psychic, it just felt like her being a psychic wasn't like didn't change anything. It didn't do anything for the show. Like, don't get me wrong, it makes it more interesting, but as far as like the plot or like the storyline, I don't really think if she were not had she not had those abilities, it wouldn't take away. It doesn't add anything to the show, and it doesn't take anything away from the show. Her being psychic, or the others from her wherever she comes from being psychics as well. Like if she was just a normal kid, like let's say if she was an orphan or something, just same personality and everything. And it's the same. The other characters are the same way, but they're not psychic, just regular humans. The show would still be the same. The show would still be funny. Them having superpowers didn't really contribute.
Yeah, not much. In the beginning, but then they stopped.
That's what I was kind of confused about, because normally when you get a show that highlights a character with, superpowers or abilities, the show kind of like
shines on that.
Not only does it shine on it, but it kind of like impacts the show. Like it either contributes something to the show, or let's say like the character loses their power, it changes the show drastically. This is just like she didn't even need the powers the entire time, other than like making a mess. You know what I'm saying? A few times that she did.
That she could have fixed with her powers, but decided not to even do it.
So that's what I'm thinking. Like, or maybe there's a season 2. I do hope this show does get a season 2. I do think I would consider this so far one of my favorite comedy animes. I'm saying I tried to watch it in time. I tried to get into that. What's the other one? Psyche. This was kind of like Psyche, but I think this did it a little better than Psyche did it. Household Husband. Try to get into that. This is a little better. Like, so the few comedy based animes, I just think this was probably the best that I've seen. No way, I think Konosuba is a little better. Not funnier, but better. But for different reasons. But I digress from that. Now I gotta do a video on Konosuba. But anyway.
That'll be the next one. Maybe. So how about Anzu?
Anzu.
She was the girl with the yellow hair.
Oh, Anzu. Best character.
How about these characters?
I think Anzu was best girl. Or waifu. Or best girl. Or both.
Who, Anzu?
Anzu, yes. That girl. Like, at first, I thought she was going to be the pain. You know what I'm saying? Like, the first couple episodes, when they feature, like, introducing her character to the show, I was like, ugh. So, like, every show needs, like, that kind of, like, antagonist character. Like
mean girl.
Like, yeah, like, that type of character. I thought she was going to be it, but...
I did, too.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it ended up being, for me, she ended up being my favorite character in the show.
She changed.
And Hina ended up being like the most annoying character, even though it's her show. Like, I don't know, it got to a point, like, anytime Hina was on the screen, I was like, ugh. Like, I was just tired of seeing Hina. I was like, oh. But it's funny because it's like, maybe because it's like so many side stories. It's like so many side, like, I do kind of like that too. Like, the way they captured the show was like multiple different scenarios going on. So like it's following Anzu, her little situation.
Oh yeah, it did do that.
It's following the other girl, her friend from school.
Bartender.
She ends up being a bartender, and it's following that little scenario. Then also follows Nita for a little bit. So like I did kind of like that. In most shows that would be seen as kind of choppy. But in this, I don't know why, but it worked.
Yeah, it did.
And it just felt like when it came time to show Hina's little whatever story she gets, I was just like, I don't even want to watch Hina's. Like, she was my least favorite of all the stories that was being told in the show, even though it's her show. I don't know. I still like her though. It's like I said. It's like a love-hate relationship with Hina. It's like, oh, she's annoying to me, but then at the same time, I like her. She does remind me a lot of Shigeo, but from Mob Psycho, but she just seemed too like, I don't know. I don't know how to say it. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
I wouldn't say that I like her a lot,
but Anzu, she ended up shining. Even the bartender girl was shining. But Anzu, I like that little story. You know, she started off as a bit of a rebel, but then she ended up being like what do you call it? Getting a dose of reality, and then she became like so down to earth. She ended up living with the homeless people. Like, her story was so like sobering and humbling. Just watching her growth throughout the show, I think I appreciated her story. I feel like that could in itself, Anzu's story in itself could have been an anime, but like the aspect of, you know, like the humbling beginnings up into where she is or where she's going. You know what I'm saying? Because like her personality was like deeply affected by what she went through. Because even like that one episode where Nita's trying to like get her to change. He's like, oh, you started off as a rebel. Yeah, let's get you back to that. He like a damn devil.
I didn't like that.
He's trying to change her.
Trying to make her back to being evil.
Yeah, I didn't like that at all. But like, she was just so, like, what she went through was so deeply rooted in her. Like, she was just not changing. And
homeless people taught her a lot.
Yeah, like, I that made me appreciate her even more. I was like, yo, I never seen a character like this. And I feel like I connected with her character because of what she been through. Like, it was kind of sad seeing her, like, how she values money and, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, to her, $2 is a shit ton of money and stuff like that. But it was like, kind of sad, but it's, like, sweet at the same time. It's like, yo, this girl's so humble. She's so down to earth. I need a friend like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wish I knew more people like this.
I liked her a lot.
She's like, oh, we don't have to spend any money. Let's go to the aquarium. Oh, no, if that costs money, then I gotta go. Oh, well, let's buy this. I don't need that. I could, if she say, let's go out for coffee. Oh, no. I could drink water at home. It's just like, it's just like, okay. Kind of a buzzkill in certain ways,
like,
but.
Yeah, she seemed like she'll be no fun, but.
Nah, when she went out with Nita, she had a blast. You just seeing.
She didn't have to spend nothing.
She
didn't have to spend anything.
Seeing how. Like, seeing the world from the eyes of somebody that's that humble is I feel like I was experiencing. Like, the things that Nita was experiencing while he was taking her out, I feel like I was experiencing too. Like, I was experiencing the world through her eyes. It's like, yes, because, like, we're going through the story with her, you know, from her humbling beginning, running the street, going from stealing food to collecting cans, to, you know, working her ass off, then to actually going out on, like, I'm saying, like, to the carnival and all that stuff. Like, just following their little story, and then seeing, like, you know, just basically having a field day and having a fun day, all for her, all expense paid day, like that, and she's just having a blast. Seeing it through her lens, seeing it like that, just was like, oh, it was so touching. It was like, yeah. That's why I feel like I need somebody like this in my life, because it's like, yo, like, if I can see the world from a person who doesn't have anything, it makes it even more like a treasure. You know what I'm saying? Even more precious. Those things, like somebody who's goes to the carnival, because like Nita, he's rich, like he could do this with Hina all the time. You know what I'm saying? He was even in his head like, what do I have to do? How can I trade Hina for you? Why did I get the short end of the stick with Hina? Because she's ungrateful. She's just like, feed me. Like, he could do this 100 times. Like, he could do this 100 times with Hina and never it never think twice about it. That one
Don't
experience,
even feel nothing
yeah, don't
from
feel shit. That one experience with Anzu, it was just magic. It was like
changing.
yeah, it was like yo, like what are we going to do today? Like the next day, like he wakes up early in the morning. What are we going to do today?
Oh.
She's like, oh, I'm leaving.
I felt so sad.
Yeah, I was like, yo, shit, my heart sang like, dang, you just gonna go home? Like, can you want to live with me?
She's so appreciative.
Yeah, so grateful. Appreciative, so helpful, so grateful. Like, she's definitely, I feel like, was best girl. In my opinion. The other girl too, bartender. I liked her display of being a hard worker, even though it ended up driving her crazy. I think that she was hilarious. Her little story was hilarious. Just seeing her, like as a kid, put in adult situations and trying to be an adult, like that was hilarious. And the different jobs, making connections. You know, everybody's like she's a kid, but everybody's treating her like she's grown, and she's just like trying to conspire, trying to get her to be a kid again. But like, yo, this is funny.
Oh, yeah, I like her.
And then she's like super talented at making drinks. Like just the way she's like moving with the mixer, the cocktail joint.
She seemed like she just started and already knew how to make a drink. So. That was pretty good.
Yeah. I would say Anzo is probably best girl, but like she makes a strong second, in my opinion. Hina, like, I'm with Nita when it comes to Hina. She's like, but don't get me wrong, her character was funny. Hina's character was the funniest character, I think. But it was like, for me, it was like funny in an annoying way. But that's part of her charm. It was like how could you get like you can't stay mad at her.
She's annoying.
She's
funny.
Like yeah, she's like one of them type of people like you get mad at her, but it's like I can't stay mad at you. You're like too like goofy.
Okay, I see that. The bartender girl. She's very very talented. I also think she's very very smart.
Yeah, I think she was like the top of the class, wasn't she?
Because like them jobs she was taking up seemed like it take a lot of knowledge and experience to be able to do them kind of jobs. Mm-hmm. She just did them like it was nothing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel like, to be honest, most people put in the situation will shine more so than if they're like having to be tested for it. You know what I mean? Like, today in society, if you go out for a job, most likely you're going to have some type of experience to do the job before they accept you. I do think a lot of people, if you just throw them into it, they'll get the job done. They'll like learn as you go type of people. Like I think there are a lot of people like that can just pick it up as they're doing it, hands on. But I don't think a lot of people get the opportunity to do that because they have to go to school, get work experience, job training, and all of this stuff before they actually go on the job. Don't get me wrong, there are a lot of people that you throw them in and they're like, oh, like they get like lost, stuck, don't know what to do. But I do think there are a lot more people like when you throw them into an environment, the work like then tell them what to do, or like let's say you have
maybe if
everybody else
students.
Not even. Like let's say what like a mechanic or something. Like, you know how you don't know anything about being a mechanic. So let's say you go to school for it or something. But like let's say they threw you into like a situation where they just throw you into it. Like here, do this and this is all you gotta do. Like a lot of people will pick it up, especially if they have like helpful coworkers that can give them tips and stuff like. Working on a job. I think she's one of those types of people. I think that there are a lot of people like that, that don't need all that like prerequisites to get into whatever that they're trying to do. I just think that the society, the way it's set up, it makes people go through those walls before you can get to actually start the job. You know what I'm saying? Like let's say like for example, nursing. You know what I'm saying? Like most people gotta get their paperwork before they can actually do it.
Certifications.
Right, but I think, and you know, what I'm saying in a lot of cases, if you just threw a person into it and said, "Here, like pick up a scalpel," and they just have to pick it up as they go. Like a lot of people would.
You think they'll be able to handle that?
As long as they're not put into a situation where it's like going to make or break them, I do think a lot of people will pick it up as they go along. It's like what do they call that? Working people. A lot of people learn by doing. You know what I'm saying, a lot of people don't learn by just listening or watching. Okay. A lot of people learn by doing it. Like for example, another example would be playing video games. Like if you play a video game, it's different from if you sitting there watching a tutorial. Because if you're sitting there watching a tutorial or reading about the game, or like a lot of people will just be like, okay, like I'm still confused. Like how do I play this? But then you actually start playing it. It's like, okay, I'm getting it. Like I understand how to do it because you're doing it. You know what I'm saying?
I think I could see that.
Like some people learn through listening. Some people learn from seeing. Some people learn from, you know what I'm saying?
Being involved.
But I do think a lot more people learn from actually hands-on doing the thing. Anyway, point is, I think that's what they were implying with her. Because even when she started the bartender job, like she just did it. She did it and picked it up right away. And then with all the other job offers, every job that was offered to her, she just did it and she kept picking it up right away. But like she didn't have to study for it. She didn't have to study for it. She didn't have to do anything for it. And then, you know, she's making these connections. Like she don't have to go through the front door like everybody else has to. They're just like, you know, people are just like, hey, yeah. I'm saying, like, they met her at the bar at the end of the night. Yeah, come work for me. And like I'm saying, just throw her in the field and she's like excelling at it. Most people, they don't even get the shot to do it like that. They have to go through the certain channels and the training.
Do you think they told her what to do and how to do it, and she just picked it up like that?
I mean, to some degree, yeah. But I mean, not like other people. No. Like she didn't go to school. Obviously, she's in middle school. She didn't go to high school. She didn't go to college for any of those jobs. They just threw her in, told her what to do, and she did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's very attentive. She, you know what I'm saying, is pretty astute. She goes take notes, ask questions to get her job done.
She's probably like I just had a thought of like being at a business office. Like you work at a business office, your boss is like, "Can you make a copy of this?" And she's like, "Okay." And then she goes and asks somebody, "Where's the copy machine at?" "Oh, it's right over here."
Yeah, a lot of people could fake it.
And then she puts the paper on the machine. And she's like, well, I guess at that point, all you gotta do is read the machine. It says copy right there, so you just press the copy button. Or she could just be like, "How you copy this paper?" Or she'll say, "Does this machine work?" And they'll just, "Yeah, like this. It works."
Yeah, a lot of people are good actors too. You know what I'm saying? Acting is another good trait to have, because if you know how to act, if you're a good actor, you'll tend to pick up everything else fairly easily. Because if you can act, acting can kind of transcend, because if you can act, you can like basically just apply that acting skill in a lot of different scenarios and situations where that might require a certain skill set. If you can act like you had that skill set and then develop the skill set as you're acting, and kind of like what they call faking the funk, or faking it till you make it kind of thing.
Fake it till you make it.
Yeah, like so. You know what I'm saying? So if you can act, that's a great skill in and of itself, because it helps you. It's like being a specialist. You could learn how to do all types of shit without, you know what I'm saying, actually having to train.
I think in nursing you can do that too. You could fake it till you make it in nursing. Probably not handling medicine, but when it comes to like personal care, yeah, I think so.
But anyway, go into that.
Alright, so another character, I don't know how to say this girl's. I don't know how to say her name.
Which one?
Mayo.
The pink hair one.
Pink.
The purple hair one.
Huh? No.
The
pink.
Pink hair one that was on the island, Castaway.
Yeah.
That's another story. Like, yo, Castaway. Like, they really hit, like, yo, the way they kept showing, like, these different scenarios and these different stories. I was kind of mad, like, I feel like they should have did either one of two things. Either they make her story what it is, or, like, bring her into the main plot. It's kind of like she's like a separate side story altogether, almost like a filler. I didn't like that.
They made her a filler.
That's what it seemed like. She felt too filler from it. It's like, all right, either bring her into the main storyline or make her side story exactly that, like some sort of side story, Castaway Adventures of Castaway or whatever her name is. But like I said, the way that everything ended, I mean, I'm left to assume that there's a season 2.
It seems like it. She's trying to go see Hina and Anzu.
Right.
Seems like there's going to be a side 2 to that. Maybe she's finally going to meet him, and then we get to see what she's going to do after she see him.
Well, I hope so, because like I said, this is probably one of the funniest. I definitely highly recommend this show. Especially to Overlord fans. If you like Overlord, even though this is nothing like Overlord, but for some reason, I guess Overlord fans like this. Oh, and another thing, yo, that salmon roe. So Hina's favorite food is salmon roe. Now, I didn't know anything about salmon roe before I started watching this. I think I might have tried it before in like maybe a sushi like years ago. Maybe it was in something like, because I do remember them orange little balls in something.
Aren't they fish
I might have
eggs?
had salmon.
Salmon?
Yeah. So I think I might have had them before. Not sure. But the way they made it look in this show made it look so delicious. Now after watching the show, I'm like, where can I get some salmon roe? I want to try this. I want to see what all the fuss is about. Why does Hina love salmon roe so much? I gotta get some salmon roe now.
I think if it's what I think it is, I think I actually had some before and it was really good.
Salmon eggs.
I do remember the little circle, them little circle things.
Yeah, now I want some. I don't know where in the
If
city.
it's what I think it is.
Where in the city I can find that? I'll see if we can go to Chinatown and just start asking, like, where can I get some salmon roe? And people look at me crazy. But I do want to try it.
Maybe I have to go to a Japanese restaurant. Maybe they'll have it.
Around here, that's, that's, I mean, you're hard pressed to find some Japanese anything. Yeah, Chinese maybe, but Japanese, not around here like that.
It'd be nice to try it again. See if it's the actual same thing that she's eating.
But, so yeah. For this show, I think I'm going to give this show a 9. Why you looking at me crazy?
Because it's way higher than what I rated it.
What did you rate it?
7.
You rated it 7? That's not way higher.
Well, not way higher, but I didn't expect you to say 9.
I think this was, I like this show. I thoroughly enjoyed watching this
you liked
show.
it a whole lot.
Yeah.
Give it a 9.
I'll give it a 9.
As much you liked it as much as Overlord.
Overlord is a 10. Stop it. You can't even compare this to Overlord. Overlord is a 10.
Almost as much as Overlord.
Overlord is a masterpiece. This is a great show. See, because like we gotta go by the rankings. The rank is 8 is very good, and 9 is great. This is a great show. You put 7. 7 is good. You don't think it was very good. You think it was good. I think it was great. I think this was a great show. So I gave it a 9. I don't think it was a masterpiece. Overlord is a masterpiece. So I gave Overlord a 10. You can't compare masterpieces to, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be hard to get a comedy anime up as a masterpiece, in my opinion. Like, I think I rated Konosuba at a 9 too. I can't really remember. But I think this is funnier than Konosuba. Well, yeah, I think this is funnier than Konosuba, but I do like Konosuba for different reasons. So,
I think
they're kind of tied. Yeah.
I think I put Konosuba higher than this.
Well, I don't want to, like, you know, anybody who want to see my final rating, just check out my anime list. It will be on there. I might, after further analysis and further inspection, it's subject to change, but the final rating will be on my page. But I do think, as what I'm saying now, I think my Konosuba is a 9. It might be 8, but I do think it's a 9. And I will be rating this on par with Konosuba.
I forgot what I rated Konosuba. I think 8 or 9.
But see, like, that's another interesting thing that you bring that up, because, like, Mob Psycho, I think I rated it 8. But I think, like, it's interesting, because Mob Psycho was funny, but it's not comedy. It's more like action. This is comedy, but it's like I'm rating this a 9, and I'm rating Mob an 8 for different reasons. I'm not rating them on the same, for the same standard. Like I rate Mob for like a action standard. This I'm rating for a comedy standard. So I say this is better than Mob, even though I probably think Mob is more my type of anime genre. Like, I enjoy that genre a little more than I enjoy this genre. But the standard, maybe it's because I have a different expectation, but I just feel like it didn't meet, it wasn't a 9. This, as far as like comedy, or comedy standard, I think this was rated higher than, like, I'm rating it against other comedies. I can't really if I rated it against Mob, yeah, I probably still would say this is a 9, only because the entertainment value, I think I did get a better entertainment value out of it, as far as like it just being fun to watch. Mob is more plot heavy, obviously. It's more of a story, it's more action, it's more has more elements, has a lot more going on for it. But as far as like the takeaway, like the entertainment value takeaway, I just think that, let's look at it this way, like, as far as like a mood booster, like what will boost my mood more, I think this boosted my mood more, because it was just like that enjoyable. I'm cracking up at the show, easy binge. You know what I'm saying? You get through this pretty quickly. It's more like, you know what I'm saying, like, it's just easier. So I think that's why I think this was a great show. Mob, on the other hand, is a very good anime. So I'll put it that way. Hopefully that makes sense, how I'm rating this thing. Then again, I rated Demon Slayer at 8 too, so like, that tells you anything about how I rate action animes. Mob and Demon Slayer are 8s in my book.
Interesting way to
Overlord is a masterpiece.
So you rate them, you rate on their, I don't know what to call it, on what they're, on like comedy or action or thriller or horror.
Yeah, but also like the takeaway. Like how the anime makes you feel. Yeah, okay. How does it make you feel? Like, I'm saying, as far as like the entertainment value, or like the how much it was enjoyed. Like when I remember when I watched Overlord, I was like elated, like watching the entire series. I was like, oh my gosh, I was kind of the same way with Code Geass too. Excuse me, but Code Geass I rated an 8. I could easily rate Code Geass a 9, But I think I rated it an 8 just for certain reasons. But that's another video. I don't want to go too deep into other animes. But because I think this is just basically what it is. It's just basically a comedy anime. It's not plot heavy at all. There's not really a whole lot we could dig into and pick apart with this, because there's not really much depth with this. It's pretty, I guess you could say, pretty light, pretty shallow of an anime. It's just entertainment for the most part, and it was good entertainment, I think.
Okay.
You have any other thoughts on it?
Well, I learned a lot from this anime. I got to see how it would be living with a rich father. Your father was rich. I got to see how spoiled kids, how spoiling your kids would be when you're paying everything for them. It showed what being homeless is like, and what else did I learn? And I learned that kids could be bartenders.
Nah, I don't think they could really be bartenders. You gotta taste the drink. So in order to be a good well, I'm not gonna say that you have to taste the drink, unless you're like if you're a bartender and you're just following a recipe, yeah. But if you're trying to be mastery of cocktails and certain things like that, you're gonna have to taste it. Kids, I don't know.
Probably all her drinks were super sweet or super strong, because she wasn't tasting them. So they're probably one or the other.
It's just a show. It's not that. It's not that deep.
Well, not bad.
You're gonna make them super sweet. Huh?
I was going a little too deep with that one.
But anyway, as I said, I do recommend this show for anybody looking for something to watch along the lines of Household Husband. You can watch this in tandem with that. So that's, for the most part, that's my commentary.
I don't really have nothing else to add.
I feel like I do feel like I am forgetting something. I feel like soon as we start recording, I'm like, oh, that's what I wanted to say. But for the most part, all I can say is if this is I do think this should anybody should check this out. Well, with that being said, anime fans.
The only thing I would have left to say is about them psychic powers. I feel like if I had them, I would have been using them way much more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's basically the only critique I have too.
Like everything.
That's the only critique. But
that's all I have to add.
But yeah, anime fans, definitely enjoy this Hina Matsuri. I think this is my favorite comedy anime. If you have any animes that you want us to cover, that you want us to talk about, feel free to recommend it to us in the comment section. Don't forget, we're on Facebook now. We're finally getting a little bit into the social media. You can come find us at Animatrix on Facebook, Alpha Trail, Oasis Gym.
Mm-hmm.
See us over there. Interact with us over there. And that's it for this one.